Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Welcome to our first fireside chat of the New Year's. Oh, so excited to be here with you all. I hope that you enjoyed the little bit of time off that you may have taken. For those of you that are new with us, welcome. We're excited to share in this moment with you all. Want to open it up as we always do. Shout outs, tell us something good, what you guys have been up to, what are you proud to promote? Like, give us all the good.
Love it. Hey, I'll start with one to kind of break the ice. Just put it in Solar Icons Facebook thread. One of the gentlemen that came on board with us last week just uploaded his first bill, and he lives up in the Wisconsin market, which we are not in. So his first bill that he uploaded is his parents. So kudos to Ryan Jacobson for that. He's not on right now, but I thought it'd be a good way to kind of kick off, because honestly, I think that's what we should be doing when people launch, is either our own bill, family members, like these are the people. So I just thought it would be a good recognition piece. That's a good learning point.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think there's something to really take away from there that you said, Chris, is that he is getting bills and working in a market that we are not open in yet. Sometimes we hear a lot of people saying, well, you're not in my market yet, or when is this market going to open? Focus on the markets that we do have, focus on the network that you have, and everything else will continue to follow. So I love that. Congratulations to him. What else you guys got for us?
Well, I'll go. So I've started following up with the several people that said that they're going to join the team. A couple of solar professionals, and also working to put somebody under somebody that I just signed up as well. And I'm looking to, that's the word. I am going to get one of my clients electric bills today, because she wants to put solar and a roof on her house. So that's what I'm working on, and yay to 2023, yay.
Bring it, girl.
That is the way you started. For those of you that have for those of you that have been on the journey, the short journey, we just started the journey of building an empire. Lisa is swinging it right out the gate. She is ready. Congratulations.
Yep, this is Joe Welch here in Massachusetts. I have teamed up with this guy who is a solar guy in just only one or two states, and he's killing in the deaf community. And so he and I are starting to partner. I think I'm going to be able to bring him on board here in Massachusetts, and we're ready to protect all the deaf folks and get solar there. So that is a big, big boon. I cannot wait.
I love it. I love it. Claim that thing, girl. He's part of the team already. Start getting him plugged in. Start getting him doing the action. If he's serious, he will show you. I love it.
I want to give a shout out real quick to Indy. I think she's on here. She came onto the scene last week, knocked out tier 1, and uploaded her first utility bill last night as well. So super excited for her. There's no better way to learn the process than uploading a bill, like Chris Hart said. So congrats, Indy.
I love it. Congratulations. And, I'll chime in and just say a major shout out to everyone that's here today. We've got 23 on right now. It might be a holiday in some people's minds, but for us as business owners and entrepreneurs and those that we have a clear vision for what 2023 we want it to be, we're here, we're ready to play. So kudos to all of you.
Can I shout out? Is that okay to do that? I actually followed the instructions. I read this whole book like I was supposed to in advance, which I am not someone who follows instructions. I was really proud of myself to do that. And also,
that's called being coachable, Michael.
I would have been someone that would have done that all in advance. I would not. I would have pretended. But I also I'm taking on the dry January challenge. I'm not going to drink this month, so that's something new for me to take on too. Thank you for your inspiration on that avenue.
Awesome. Hey, while Michael held that book up, I'm doing the same. We just launched this morning, our brand new book, building an empire. If you're not part of the book club, I highly encourage you, to jump on board. It's not too late. At the very least, get this book. This is your blueprint to building your business. So kudos. Thank you, Chris Hart, for launching this this morning.
Amen. I just a total side note. I also took a call, the Marketing Booster. They do like a live seminar. So I just sat down for that because I just love that they're in the same business as us, which is like, it's too good to be true. And I just loved all the things they have to, this has been my avenue of like, too good to be true. Nobody ever believes the things I do, but I really liked what they had to offer.
Good for you. Hey, I'm going to shout out to Marissa. She told me the other day that she went back and hit up some of her old proposals, and she was very vulnerable to them and said, hey, I apologize. When I hit you up, I was new, didn't know as much as I know now. Will you give me a second chance? And so she's got some proposals in the pipeline that she's revisiting now that she's a little bit more experienced. So I think there's a lot to say there, that one, you're vulnerable enough to go back to people and say you weren't adequate enough to serve them, and then ask for a second chance. So kudos for doing that. That speaks volume of your character, and excited for you to get some of those proposals locked in. Great job.
I learned from all of you amazing leaders. You guys definitely help pave the way. And as we've said before, you run and you lead and with integrity. And as long as you do that, there is no limit to the things that we can accomplish together. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Anybody else before we turn it away to the birthday boy?
All right, cool. Let me grab my screen.
He's looking so stylish
Appreciate-
with that sweater too.
Whatever.
Very
Chris.
snazzy.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
We
Let's get
do.
it off me. Let's get it on the screen as quickly as possible. Marissa, I appreciate you stepping up and kicking the show off. My phone's blowing up, by the way. So we got James 2.0 over here, or Jim 2.0, excuse me. Where the people have spoken, they want a change of scene, and Chris and I will make sure we do that going forward. So I appreciate it. Team shout outs we just did, national leaderboard for December. So we're closing out 2023. I will by next Monday have the numbers for the entire year that I can share. Maureen, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. Do you want to go through it?
Okay, look at this list. First of all, Marissa, amazing job. Love your energy. Happy birthday, Aaron. All right, we got James with 5, Patrick Adu with 2, Aaron Raymer with 2, Shane Mathis with 2, Tubason, I'm totally gonna mess that up. I am so sorry. I'm gonna try. Kingsley with 1, Benonia with 1, Clement with 1, Lisa Bailey Harper with 1, Michelle Gasca with 1, Ron Windsor, Louis Lobel, Christian Navarez, Katie Douglas, Mark Gleason, Ryan Jacobson, Isaac Stegman, Jordan Walker, Nail Salim, Paul Davis, Christopher Hall, Lynn Gunderman, Dustin Hollandrake, Greg Lira, Blair Balin, Scott Marlowe, David Sappington, James Corey, Dylan Phillips, Anthony Paterno, Dustin Phillips, Aaron Pearson, Jason Santiago, Brian Whipple, Greg Goodwin, Mitch Mallet, and Indra Zakar. Oh my, I gotta mess it up at the end.
You absolutely.
How do I say it? Someone correct
Indy,
me.
how do you say your last name?
Don't say it.
How do I say it?
Don't
Teach
say
me.
it.
Don't say it.
Zachary.
Just Z is fine. Zacharita.
Zacharita.
But it's okay. Z is fine.
Okay, Indy Z.
There you go.
Look at
Maureen,
that.
you
Super
crushed
icon.
that. You crushed that. By the way, guys, I love seeing all the names on the leaderboard. Kristen said it on the book call today. That's what sets our team apart. Is it's not just 1 or 2 people winning. It's so many freaking people, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to next week to where we can share the entire numbers for last year, or at least the portion of the year that our team was around for that. So congrats to all of you guys on that. And thank you again, Maureen, for going through that. We do have our power hour tonight. As you guys know, Bobby does this like clockwork. He's not going to shut it down for a holiday. So we are live today, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Same link as always, powerhour.com. Make sure you're telling your guests to hop on early. This one will sell out. I think a lot of people are going to be on this as they're off work. So I think a lot more invites are going to be out as well. So it should be a great show. I only know one of them personally, which is Garrett. You've heard me talk about him. He actually is local here in Virginia. He is one of the top one, if not two sellers. I'm sorry, either first or second place sellers in all of power across the country. The guy just flat out kills it. I was on a call with him and Bobby Smith the other day. I think he cleared $140,000 in just personal income this month. So his expertise talking to other solar pros is just a game changer. He does an absolutely fantastic job. So make sure you guys are packing the house on that. Let me go back to this. Team training schedule. You guys have seen this by now. I want to touch quickly on the book club. I know Terry mentioned it. Chris just launched that today at 9:30. One of the mistakes I made for the last series of the book club, if you missed today, it's not too late. I think Marissa said that as well. Hop on. I don't care if it's week 3, if it's week 4. The information that Chris is going to share on these calls is fire. And the book they're doing, it is building an empire. I think Terry held it up. This is coming firsthand. Chris was personally trained by the author of this book. So the nuggets he's able to drop aren't just from the print, guys. You can't just find it in the book. So make sure you're there. He also doubled the turnout from his first book club to today. We had 37 people on this morning, bright and early. I think it went 2 hours, which is just crazy. There was just so much content for him to share. So make sure you guys are on that. And then the other big one I really want to promote is the Friday role play. We got to get more butts in seats on this one, guys. He rotates, and this is led by Chris again. He rotates in between how to sell solar, how to sell glass, the value propositions, and then also every other Friday is how to recruit. So if you're just concentrating on selling, we expect to see you there at least half the time. If you're trying to build that hybrid business like most of us, where you want an empire, right? And you also want to be able to sell glass, then obviously you would be on both weeks every single Friday, which is really, really cool. So make sure you guys have that. I don't know why I have to keep going back. Updates and announcements, and then we'll turn it over to the open forum, the typical fireside chat. Roofing proposals are very, very different right now. It has not been announced as of like an hour ago yet or official, but all proposals are going to be directly through power.com instead of having to use Solo for some of these where it was allowed. There is also, and please make special note of this, we're missing a lot of people. So leaders, please text this out to your team so it's not an issue. There is going to be a brand new course called the power.com roofing proposal. It is not the former roofing certification. You should still take it, but that class will not get you the ability to request proposals. It has to be this class. So make sure you guys are on top of that. If I checked knowledge base about an hour ago, it was not there yet. The email from corporate said it will be coming out this week. So as soon as someone sees it there, please let all of us know so we can get that knocked out. Even if you don't have a proposal yet, knock this class out, guys. You're going to end up coming across somebody that needs a roof and you won't be able to get it. Nothing we can do on our end without it. So very, very, very important. Current roofing markets that they're going to be done through the proposals tab is Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, DC as soon as they launch it, Florida, Maryland, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Jersey, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia, with more to come soon, which is really exciting. Lots of financing updates as well. Chris does a great job keeping us abreast of all of these. They are changing all the time. Two of the ones that we know that are coming. The first one is Good Leap, which is going into effect January 10th, so in just a week. They're going to be removing all APRs with a 3.49% and below. I know a lot of the mentors on our team aren't selling this product, but still important that you know that. Power is working on a special deal to retain a 25-year 3.59 product. Stay tuned for that announcement. We'll make sure we get it to you once it is delivered. They're lowering the pricing 150 points on all 499. See, it's funny. All of a sudden I read lowering and it didn't process. And I was like, what? That had to be a typo. Lowering it on the 499 APR products and higher, which is good news. And then removing any APR lower than 5.49% on all fast pay products. So lots of changes if you're new. That's why you have a great mentor like Chris or myself that they're going to be able to guide you through this. But I want to make sure you guys understand that as well. Chris, go for it.
Yeah, just a brief education on understanding some of what you're going through on this. Kind of two easy things to understand when you hear all this financing language that may just make your mind tweak. anytime they say removing all APRs 3.5, 3.49 and below, those are the bottom, right? Those are typically the lowest APRs. So anytime that you hear interest rates are going to go up, or when we're talking about interest rates going up, typically what happens is the bottom falls out. So anything that was the cheapest APR available to you, those typically disappear. What does that translate to on a proposal? The lower the APR, the lower the monthly payment. Okay. When we talk about dealer fees, anytime there's a increase in dealer fees affect the overall loan amount. Right. So whenever you guys are hearing this, like any removing all APRs 3.49% and below, the challenge becomes if you're doing proposals in markets that already have relatively low kilowatt hour ratings, their overall average payment every month is typically lower. And so when we lose those low interest rates, we tend to get challenged with those two numbers right there. And then when dealer fees go up, that affects the total cost. Now, to understand this piece too, when you go at a lower interest rate, you are buying down that interest rate, which means you have a higher dealer fee. So just keep those two things in mind. Why is that important? Because, hey, we've got 8 days. So if you have proposals out there looming, get them, or bills out there looming, get them in the system. Don't let people say, yeah, I'll get you my bill. Say, hey, look, we got to get it in the system right away. Here's why. Don't wait till the last minute, because one, you want to get it in the system. You want to give your mentor time to do whatever edits or revisions that need to happen. But there's a process that typically happens, right? It's bill, edit, revision, schedule, do the proposal. They need to think about it, etc. The longer you wait, the shorter that time frame. And when you put pressure on people, they tend to get what? Freeze. They go into freeze mode. So get ahead of it, and let's get out in front of these rate changes that are going to affect the cost of people's proposals. That's all I got.
Good insight, brother. Chris, I think Michael has a question for you as well.
Yeah, so if I have a proposal that went out last week, but I'm not meeting until the 16th, should I assume we have to rerun it because the rates are changing?
Well, you don't have to rerun the proposal. What'll happen is whatever financing options that are in that proposal, they'll still be there, but they'll say expired. So you'll just have whatever new financing options are available. So even if you edit it and you're like, oh, I'm going to the Good Leap 2.99, whatever, and you have that factored into your numbers, that financing will be expired, but you'll still be able to use the proposal.
Good stuff. Great question too. And then the bigger announcement, in my opinion, this is Chris and both of our favorite product right now, based on everything we are faced with, is the Sunlight Financial. Their changes are going into effect on the 5th. So we're talking 3 days away. So this one is right around the corner, really important. They're increasing the price on all standard loan products. We don't know how much yet. So it's a mystery. So I'm just letting people know it is going up. They're eliminating the 20-year 2.49, the 15 199, 12 149, and 10.99. Once again, as Chris said, all the low-end products on this. They're introducing a brand new no dealer fee product. It's going to be a 20 and a 25-year 9.99. The 999 hurts, but when you have no dealer fees, we're going to be able to sell that product. It's a very easy product to get in front of somebody. No financing charges on that at all, which is absolutely fantastic. We're still offering the 25-year 2.99. So for anybody that is shopping that lowest monthly possible, we still have a good product there. And then the no dealer fee products are increasing in APR. So Chris, your understanding of our favorite product, I think 699, 799, 20-year, is that going to be affected here?
I haven't seen anything that is going to show that it's going to be affected. What you might see is maybe some increase in dealer fees. So the 7.99 is at 2.5% right now, and the 6.99 is at 7.5%. So you might see some increases on that.
Okay, cool. All right, any other questions on the financing, guys? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and open it up to our traditional fireside chat. You guys can take it wherever you want it. We have amazing leaders on this call that can answer questions, shed lights, share scripts, objections, whatever you guys need help with. The floor is yours, my friends.
I'll kick it off. I have a question. So I am working on this thing right here, right? So if you guys don't have this, this is dropped in the groups, it's been dropped in the chats. What is when we're starting and engaging in conversation, I'm trying to figure out how do I approach it? And I know Chris is gonna be like, girl, you be on Fridays. I do get on Fridays. That's why he's smiling. But
can you give us more detailed conversation with who? Conversation with who for what?
So I'm going to be focusing on both. I'm going to be making calls for bills. I'm going to be making calls for recruits. And I'm looking at Chris and I'm laughing in my head because he's going to be like, girl, Fridays. Play to win.
Well, you know, honestly, I think it's a good question, right? Because there's a lot of information out there, and
Right.
a lot of us can get paralyzed by the overload. Chris does a great job of bringing it all to us so that you can really, pick 1, 2, or 3 that really speak to you, but all 5, so you're able to pivot based on who you're talking to. That's important. But it can be overwhelming. It really can be drinking from a fire hose. Anybody want to touch a good intro for getting a utility bill? Good conversation starter that someone could share.
Can I just share something on a comment she just said?
Yeah.
The skill of communication is the most important skill ever. We can't not talk about it too much, right? So yes, Fridays are important, but it's also important to have these conversations here as well. So please don't ever feel like, you're asking a stupid question or inadequate because we're talking about the skill of communication, part of the sales process. Yes, Friday's great. Yes, Friday's important, but Friday's not enough. All right. So this is a great question and definitely one that's valuable to the group. So
cool. Anybody want to step up and share something they've used to start that conversation for getting utility bills? I know Joe's been on fire this past week.
For me, it's how much electricity is going up. So I'm like, how's your electric bill? What's going on there? Have you seen the increase happening in your side? So I start conversations in that realm.
Yeah, she's servicing a state that is just getting murdered right now in electric
63%.
I mean, like insane. We did one the other day, small usage over $800 a month. I mean, like crazy. So she is doing what she should be doing and leading with that, because that is a pain point that everyone she's talking to in the Massachusetts region is feeling for sure. Anybody else want to share some language? Oh, we got some solar pros on here too. Good to see you, Joe. Anybody else want to share some language for getting utility bills?
I think there's one that Joe could probably run with. If you do a proposal, especially for what do you have out there? National Grid in Massachusetts, they just went up 63%. I would take somebody's utility bill and take a screenshot of it and circle it in red if you're seeing the elevated increase in rates, and message that out to people and say, hey, Marissa, I just did a solar proposal for one of my neighbors, and we just noticed on their utility bill that their cost just went up 63%. Have you seen this on your utility bill as well? Most people don't know.
I'll echo that as well. That's my number one way to get a bill, is what he just said. I like to use screenshots from someone else's proposal, maybe one of mine, someone we share on our Solar Icons Messenger app, and I send those out. And I'm usually sharing a win. I'm not even asking them for something. And without fail, they always fire back like, oh my gosh, can you do that for me too? Or, oh my gosh, how does that work? So they're literally starting the conversation with me just by me sharing a win. And that's my passive, indirect tactic that just kind of feeds who I am as a person. It just works. So I totally agree with what he just said. And I usually use that same screenshot over and over. You don't have to get creative and reinvent it. If it works for one, it's going to work for many. So I think that's a great tip. Mitch, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'd just be very straightforward. So, for me to give you an accurate proposal, I'm going to need a copy of your electric bill, not so much for the dollar amount, because the prices are going up. We go by the amount of kilowatts used because that's
Mitch, how are you starting that original combo though to even want to get the bill? Like I totally get what you're saying, the importance of the bill. We could like that's valid, like totally get it. But how are you starting that initial combo?
Well, it all depends on how I'm talking to them. I mean, is it somebody who came to me, or is it a lead that they filled out something and they're
No, I'm
interested
gonna
in
make
solar?
calls based off of my contact list.
Okay, so you're kind of cold calling her, but they're on your warm list.
Right.
I would start by just telling them, you know, hey, I got a new gig, I got a new job, I got a new career I'm starting. I'm very excited. And I was wondering if you can help me get me some referrals. Instead of asking them to buy, ask them who they know who might be interested. And, you know, during that course of the first few minutes, they may hopefully turn around and go, what about me? And then when they're interested in the solar for themselves, then I would bring up, well, I can put together a proposal for you. There's no obligation. And you know, what do you need? You need their address, you need their email, and you need the PDF. I ask people for the PDF, not so much for the screenshot. If they go online, every electric company that I've ever looked at has download the PDF. So download the PDF and then email it to me. And because we don't go by the dollar amount. We don't go by the dollar amount. We go by the amount of kilowatts you use, because like my utility company, FPL in Florida, starting yesterday, the electric rates just went up 16%. And last year,
so you can run with that all day. Awesome. Joe, I saw you had your hand up, bud.
Yeah, I was going to say that I try and get the homeowner to take some ownership in the process by just, you know, how am I going to be able to best help you? Well, one of the things that I need, first of all, is that power bill. So, I mean, that's the only way I'm going to be able to show you how we can help you save money. And then the other thing I do, and I think Aaron mentioned this, I have a copy of my power bill, and I update it on a regular basis where I have what I paid a year ago, and then what I'm currently paying, and it just, I mean, it's a straight numbers game at that point. You can show them, you know, right now, my power bill is 15% higher than it was a year ago. So
success leaves clues, guys. I mean, it's it right there. Marissa, I know you've heard mine, but I'll say it for some of the new people. I drop a lot of voice text. So I'm not sharing a win from someone on the team proposal wise. I'm dropping voice text. I keep it short and clean. Hey, Marissa, hope all is well in your world. Happy New Year. I see you're doing well. Family's doing well. Listen, I'm not sure if you saw my post last month, but we just launched a brand new solar division. Super stoked about it. We're already in 26 states. In fact, we just launched Puerto Rico, man. I'm just so excited. Best part is, though, we're helping homeowners save some money on the rising electric costs. I'm not sure if you have any interest whatsoever in saving some money this time of year. If so, let me know and I can walk you through the process. But full disclosure, not every home qualifies. So please don't get mad at me if you happen to live in one of those homes. Hope you have a great day. We'll connect soon. I drop it. I mean, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, I can drop 20 of those in 10 minutes. By the way, the other thing on that, and I touched on this a lot, some people don't respond. Yes, it sucks. It hurts your feelings. You want to unfriend them, right? Or whatever. But at the very worst, if they played it, and you can see if they played it, if you're doing this on Facebook, by the way, they now know I'm in solar. I have gotten referrals from people who were flat rude to me from that message. Don't even get me started. Or they flat ghosted me. All of a sudden, a month later, they're like, hey, Aaron, I got someone asking questions. You still doing solar? I'm like, oh, yes, ma'am, I am. Right? So it just works. Let people know. Indy, you're up next.
I think, you know, when you start, well, I just started. So for me, it would be like, if I'm calling my friends or somebody around, just tell them you just started a new job and you need some training. And if you want to help me I need training. So can you please, help me upload your bill? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to win that, but at least you're going to get a training.
Yeah, there's a lot of people being super transparent. I need some reps, and if you're going warm market, they're willing to help you out. That's why they're your friends. And I tell people all the time, I was telling Jim the other day, once people see this, they can't unsee it. So just a matter of getting them in. Chris, I'll come to you next.
Did you see me? I'm sorry.
Yep, go for it, bud.
Oh, hey, so, I was doing some research this weekend, and I actually came across a Geico commercial on a YouTube video, and I thought it was genius. Say 15 minutes could save you 15%, or what do they say, or less, or, something along those lines. And it literally just hit me that if that's working for them, why not work what works? Right. So Marissa, I would hit people up this week and say, hey, Marissa, hope all is well. I'm sure you've seen the, cost of everything going up. Has anybody showed you how you could save 15% on your electric bill? No? Awesome. Hey, do me a favor, send me a copy of your most recent utility bill, and I'll take a look at it and I'll let you know how much you could potentially save on your electric bill each month. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could save some money? Keep it simple. Use what works. Now, I'm being clear. I have not used that. I have not gotten results from it, but it did come from a Geico commercial, and I do like using what works. And if Geico's using it and they're spending a ton of money on it and you know it, then it must work.
Short and sweet, man. Love it.
Save money, right? Value proposition.
You're on mute.
God.
We can't hear you, just a heads up. Oh, Joe, go for it until we get that one figured out.
Hey there. I think, Marissa, did you say you're also doing cold, which actually sometimes takes away a little bit of that, the like leaning into the personal leverage? One, I'm confident you've probably already been making cold calls, but definitely just like, what did they say? Eat the frog, just eat the frog, just make the calls, let them be screwed up, let them be messy. But the other side is, I lean into education in that place, because especially when we're coming out of nowhere, they're like, what's going on? Because I've done leads for a couple of businesses and people are like, how did you get this? So I would say start with your name, why you're on the call, and then just say, look, I'm not here to sell you anything. I have an education opportunity, and because it's so important, we can set up a time. I also I always extend my calendar out. So I'll do the immediate calls, right? Those are the people who say they want the call. But for those no's, I'll say, great, can we do this? And then I pick the next month or whatever. Can we make an appointment for the 15th of February, so that you have a chance to just kind of, talk to your spouse or whatever, and then we can have that educational call. So sometimes that takes a little bit of the bite out of their feeling like they don't know who you are, So those are some strategies that I've used in a couple other industries.
Love it. Love it. The last tip on this, and we'll open it up to a different question, is it's energy and excitement. That's the other reason I love voice text. Obviously, old school with the phone or belly to belly is ultimate. Worst case would be just sending over a text, because you can't use that excitement. If Marissa is excited, and we all know she has that gift, the person you're talking to, it's transferred to them. Like, it's undeniable, right? And that's part of the reason I use that language. We're in 26 states, just launched here. We're killing it. We're saving people lots of money. Like, people want to be a part of that. So be really, really excited. Be really, really confident when you go out prospecting for bills. Anyone want to touch quickly on the recruiting piece? I know you saw that when Maureen went over the leaderboard, a lot of people threw up some numbers. I know Jim is killing it in that front. I'm not sure if he's on today or not. But anybody want to share a great intro script for the business opportunity portion?
Aaron, hi.
Go for it, Katie.
Happy birthday, Aaron. You like
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's funny because I was at the Ravens game last night and I actually sat next to a guy in real estate. We have a call tomorrow at 8 o'clock about recruiting and also maybe, just doing something with solar. He's going to send me his bill. He said later today, but he's actually more of a investment flip and sell or flip and hold. So he actually is looking to maybe do stuff with his rentals that he has too.
Love it. It's all about
So
conversation.
You just never know when you start the conversation.
No, 100%. Anybody have a good intro script, intro voice note, whatever you're using? You guys are quiet today. Nobody has a good one for recruiting? Chris, anything jump out at you?
Yeah, the thing about recruiting, I think, is it's subjective to who you're speaking to. You know, it's a lot more subjective than it is when we're asking utility bills. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at solar pros, that's an easy one. It's, you know, they're just going to make more money with power, right? And so when you look at it, it can be multidimensional in that respect. It can be as simple as, you know, asking them if they're interested in and open to making higher commissions while doing the same thing that they're already doing. And then plus the fact that we get more opportunities to create income with regard to rebate financing. Joe, you're a solar pro, right? Joe T. Okay. Your previous company, were you receiving financing rebates? Your last
No,
company?
sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So you can clearly make more money doing the exact same thing. Like, who doesn't want to do that? So you can hit them up and say, if they're solar pros, hit them up and say, hey, Joe, hope all is well, man. You still crushing it in solar by any chance? Right. When you open it up in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Vague way, they think that you want them to sell you solar. So they're gonna be like, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Hey, I found a way for us to make even more money doing the exact same thing we're already doing and selling solar. You interested? Right. What do they hear? Make more money. That's what every solar pro wants to do. Every salesperson wants to do that. Right. So you can lead in that respect. If you're talking to other industries, the number one problem, who here's real estate? Tisha, what market are you in?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yay. Okay, we are over in the DFW area in Texas.
DFW, awesome. Do you know how much your market is down this year?
I don't know that number.
You don't know. So it's probably anywhere between 10, 15, 18%, correct?
I don't think it's that high, but I'm not sure.
Okay, but it's at least down 10%, right? Major
Probably,
market,
yeah.
100% in a major market. It's at least every major market's down at least 10%. Now, here's the thing, Tisha, in order for you to make the same kind of money you made last year, you're going to have to do probably twice the amount of work in a declining market, right? If I could show you a way to offset that and hedge against it and be able to make twice the amount of money in, let's say, half the amount of work, something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, and you're not doing anything more than what you've already done, which is serve clients in real estate. Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking at recruiting, I think it's really, you got to look at who you're talking to and who your base is and what's important to them. Right. And which one of the 5 value propositions are available to them. Just remember one thing, right? Anything that has to do with influence, sales, leadership, et cetera, it's all centered around solving problems. Right? Value propositions that solve problems. So the first,
I'll make sure everyone got what he just said. That's huge. We're all tuned to one station. It's what's in it for me. So it's a true story, guys. It is. I see a lot of nice people that I know, love, like, and respect. It's true of you too. It just is. It's the way we're wired, unfortunately. So that script has to touch on that. Has to. If it does, it's fishing with dynamite. It's over.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're out there, what's the number one problem for lenders right now?
Interest rates.
Interest rates.
That's not their problem.
No deals.
No deals, no money. Nobody's borrowing right now.
Nobody.
Well, not no one, but their income. Here's the hard part, right? It's very hard to go from here to here in income, right? When you fall off a cliff. If your income is declining, that's a different story. Real estate, their income is declining and it's going to continue to decline. Mortgage, it just went like this. These people went from heroes to they're not making any money. right? And I'm not being judgmental. That's a big problem for them. Now, if they've been in the industry longer than 5 years, they've got a database of homeowners that is our ideal client profile, homeowners. And if they've already built trust with them, know, like, and trust, they already have maximum influence with those people. If they want to get back to hero status financially, the fastest path, the path of least resistance for them is solar. Why? Because one, we make great income. They already have the database. They're 100, as Jim likes to say, they're $184 and one decision away, coupled with one script to get them back in the game financially.
Ooh.
You get that?
That is solid.
When you solve problems for people, it's when you, but here's the thing, when you understand the problem and you can communicate it effectively, that's when you can be valuable to people.
Love it, man. All right, Marissa, hopefully that helps. Some good nuggets there on both sides for sure.
Like 2
All right, what
pages
else
of
we got?
notes. Thank you.
Love it. By the way, another pain point for Solar Pros that we don't talk enough about is, I'm going to go ahead and say everyone I've talked to so far, they are doing face-to-face appointments. So they're in the car, they are driving. I'm not talking about door knocking, that's a whole different subject, but they are face-to-face. They might have 4 appointments a day. They knock on the door, the person's not home. Like, you want to talk about, have a call with somebody when they're in between appointments and they'll open up, like open up. That son of a gun didn't answer. I just drove an hour and 20 minutes. I could have been at home with my wife, whatever the story is. Like, it's brutal. Brutal. And so that is a problem that I am solving personally when I'm talking to Solar Pros. Oh my gosh, you guys aren't leveraging Zoom? They're like, no, how do you do it? How do you close? I'm like, dude, we got to hop on a call. Like, you can give a Solar Pro their life back. Right? Huge. Okay, what else we got? It can be any topic.
Let me throw one more out there for those that want to recruit Solar Pros. You know what another big issue is? You can be good at your job. You can be good at, wake up in the morning, making the decision, go out, be willing to work, go knock on doors, talk to people, get bills, put a proposal together, influence them, do everything to get this thing to installation. You know what's not good? The company you work with is not good at paying you.
I forgot about that.
That's correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Almost every single Solar Pro I have spoken with thus far comes from an environment where their company does not pay them. Guys, we get paid 2 times, M1, M2, and within 24 hours of M1, right, or site survey, you're being paid, and we get paid daily. Daily. Guys, anybody that's struggling financially, that's important. You're days away from getting paid with our opportunity. You're days away. If Tisha went and booked and got a listing today, she's not getting paid till January, probably March at best. Same thing with the lender. Same thing with Solar Pros and other companies. That's a big value proposition right there. That's all I got.
Love it. All right, what else we got? Don't be shy. It's your time. We got a lot of smart people here, a lot of Solar Pros, a lot of top recruiters, business builders. And Tisha, I'll drop you a voice text player on Facebook with it, but she's right. It changes a little bit. My recruiting one, by the way, is very, very similar. I can share that as well for real estate people. Jim, go for it, sir.
That'd be awesome.
Recruiting Solar Pros, what a great target audience to tackle, right? They're going to be the quickest to revenue share. I've been hitting those guys up, right? So they have to come in and do what they're already doing. The difference is we're going to give them the best, how do you say it? I tell them they're going to have the richest compensation plan anywhere in the solar space. In the same time and space that you're working in your current platform, you're losing money. If you come over here and do that same effort with us, we're going to give you a raise. I'm going to make you part owner of the company. we're going to give you, with stock options, we're going to give you a chance to earn weekly revenue share. They're like, wait, what? And then, by the way, every time you sell a deal, you're going to get a 1.5% finance rebate. You probably never heard that language before, have you? No, that's because your company executives are putting that directly in their pocket. Our company executives do 100% pass through and put that in your pocket. And I'm like an analogy nerd. I say, think about a car. All these solar companies are treating everybody like they're the hubcaps. You stay out in the bad weather, you're knocking doors in the heat and the rain, and they run you off, get the mileage, and they run you off. And then they just slap another hubcap on there. With our company, you're treated like the engine. We've got all these funnels of income going into to give you an opportunity for legacy wealth. If you come and lock arms with us, one thing I'll tell you is we're going to coach you, we're going to teach you, we're going to elevate your game. My favorite part of being a part of our company is you get to learn and grow with us and keep with our mastermind group. That is the most valuable part of this whole thing. It really is. Because if you get your mind right, your body will follow, your actions will follow. Chris, he does amazing work. Aaron, you do amazing work. Maureen, all the leaders in these calls are just so valuable for us. But that's how I've been recruiting these solar guys. James Federico, AP, I just basically illuminated the opportunity to them. I just had enough credibility to have conversation with them. I don't just blast them with a video. I try to start a conversation, and you like it. We form, right? You do the form. Anyone know the form cells? Google it if you don't, but family, occupation, recreation, and your motivation. And then, then we go into how do you get into the solar space and give yourself a raise? And we have the solution for them. I tell them, you guys have been treated like crap. You're living off breadcrumbs. Come over here where you have a chance to earn legacy wealth. The work you do today can be, your grandkids could be affected one day if you do this right. That's all.
That was a masterclass, bro.
Freaking love you, man.
Oh my God. I will not be sharing any of my scripts after that. We will just go straight to Jim going forward.
Oh, you're funny. Well, I just copy the stuff you guys say, man. I just throw my little personality and my formula.
That was like one of the best things I've ever heard, Jim.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I will be selling the replay of this after this call.
Aaron, you gotta make that a
real
clip.
quickly, I'm doing digital door knocking while I'm on this call. I've got my live campaigns kicking, so if I leave abruptly or anything, forgive me in advance. And
So,
happy birthday, Aaron. You look like you're glowing over there, brother.
Digital door knocking, what is that?
I'm an internet
Jim's
marketing
stealing the
nerd.
show. Go for it.
Go ahead.
I basically have my call people setting appointments for me right now. So people are calling me that want to talk about solar. I don't like to knock on doors. I built my real estate business all through internet marketing. I believe in attract, don't chase. If you could build a campaign where things are screened out and people are calling you because they want to talk about what you want them to talk about, that sets you up for success. The time that you spend is a lot more efficient, effective. If you're chasing people down, good luck. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I just kind of beat to my own drum. I've always kind of been that wild kid.
Hey, Jim, can I touch on something that you said?
Maybe.
I mean,
if you're gentle.
I'm not going to say anything bad. It's something that he did with his script is he painted a bigger picture, right? It's not just piquing interest. He has the ability to craft something that people can see. That's selling. That's what's called the art of selling, right? And that's what, you guys got to get good at. These are the things that we talk about, or we talked about on Friday when we look at the 5 value propositions when we're recruiting. It's not just piquing interest on those. It's the ability to craft that perspective that people can see, that when you're talking to, like, every one of you guys that were impressed by what Jim just did, what you were impressed by was it was speaking to you, right? Like your third eye mind was starting to see what he was communicating. And that's where the skill comes in. That's the art of selling, or the art of influence. And that's where, what I would encourage you guys, when we talk about the 5 different value propositions, find the one that works for you, whether either something you like, comfortable with, or speaks to a ideal demographic that you're going to be recruiting, and then figure out how to craft that conversation, right? Remember, you're piquing their interest, but you're upgrading. So when I teach people script, dialogue, conversation, close, when you're looking to get into that conversation, the conversation is crafting that vision.
Love it.
And that's what
Jim, the other thing I 100% agree, by the way. I call it vision casting. It's like Maureen, I talk a lot about. I think it's one of the most profitable skills you could ever learn. The other thing I love on what he just did, though, for me personally, I don't think this might not be his strategy. If someone says no to legacy wealth, they were not meant to be in business for me. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like we don't have a lot in common after that point. So I love that because he almost, if I was running that same script, I know where I stand with the prospect. No, legacy wealth, that is not my thing. I am good. Dude, I wish you the best. God bless. And I'm on. Like I'm going to the next person. Like for me, it's like the freedom of that. I know exactly where I stand. So for that, Jem, thank you. Joe, I saw you had a hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, and this is not a new piece of information, certainly not for me, but the idea of really knowing your script from A to Z. And so, one of the things I enjoyed about his delivery was there was no question. Like he wasn't waiting for me to ask something I'm doing, like, as I think we all are, is trying to improve our business presence and what we're doing. And the ideas of these scripts, and that we're always asking for, like, what's the way in? What's the way in? And I think that more importantly than the way in is do we know what we're trying to say in, whether it's 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and really just like, I want to be innovative all the time. And I definitely am someone who loves the interpersonal, play with people to really make it fit what they need. And I love all that. And so I hesitate to memorize a script. But the other side of it is if I had a better script memorized, then I could be more flexible to deliver what they need and be as relaxed as I didn't even catch who the gentleman was because I'm also doing a bunch of things on my computer. Was it Jim? Jim, that was killer. And a reminder to everybody that if you have your transcript up, you should be able to save the transcript because wisely, Aaron already has his caption button here on the Zoom. And so you guys have access to those when you have like a really special moment that you want to capture.
Love it. Interesting point you made too, Joe. I think Chris taught me this. I mean, this is probably a decade ago. Scripting for me, when it changed, when it became something I bought into, it's because I view it as a framework. Like it's not word for word, you're a robot, you're saying it over and over. It gives me my talking points. It gives me my confidence. It gives me the bullet points. So if I have 10 seconds to grab your attention, I have to know crystal clear how I'm going to do it. And if I was just basing that on who I'm talking to or a conversation, I wouldn't be effective. And so when I really grasped that to changing it from word for word to a framework of what I want to accomplish, everything changed. So I think it's a really, really good point. The other thing you said too, and it's important, you're right. You can tell he said that 1,000 times. That was not something he just got up here and just said, let me go wing this. You can tell. And when we're coaching someone else who's not having the results and you say, well, what's the intro? What are you saying? You can ask them 2 different times, you're gonna get 2 different answers because they haven't said it enough. They haven't practiced it. They haven't owned it. And so I love that you caught on to that. Jim, anything you want to touch on what she said?
No, I mean, that's a good observation, and repetition, it just becomes muscle memory for me. And when I'm flowing, I do a lot of 3-way calls for my team. I've sponsored 15 frontline people now in the company. My team size is 28. So I've had repetitions beyond that. Those are just the successful ones. And a lot of those times I'm putting Chris and Aaron, Terry Thomas, as my partners. But then when my downline starts to grow, they put me on the phone with them. And it's like, no shame on Aaron and Chris and Terry. They've given me the way to go. I got a live lead coming in, guys. Want to hear a live call?
Do it.
Hold on, do it. Let's put on speaker if I can.
Yes.
Hi, this is James. Can you hear me? Oh, I think they hung up. Okay. All right. Well, that was an opportunity. They're coming in.
That would have been badass, man.
Okay, I'll do one for y'all if we get it. So maybe they'll call back. That being said, the thing is just repetition, practice it, write it down. And for me, it's just, having conversations with people. And I just got these little sound nuggets that I just drop on every call. And when I tell people the legacy wealth and you can do the work today that'll affect your grandkids, I've had so many people like, I like that. I've been looking for something like that. And I say it genuinely. I'm not telling them. I actually have to like discipline myself and taper down my excitement because I don't want to be that cheesy salesman. And it's kind of like the energy, like I match my person's energy that I'm talking to, because I'm a very like optimistic and excited person by nature. So I have to really mindfully discipline myself to match their energy. But yeah, when you get that skill, you start getting the conversions, right? But we're building the skill in here, right? Iron is sharpening iron in this room every week. You know, and Chris Hart's call every week is magnificent as well. I can attribute me getting unlocked. Like I came to the company knowing this is a great opportunity because as Aaron says, I already saw how this movie ends with EXP. This is based off of that. So for me, it was kind of like, whoa, this is without just having that finite niche of realtors. I could work with such a larger audience, right? And anyone that has entrepreneurial spirit and is willing to take $184 risk, I always tell them too, the risk of not doing it is bigger than trying it out for $184. For $184, you get the keys to a $300 million vehicle. Like that's a good like opportunity. Come and just run with us for a little while. If it's not for you, there's no contracts. We're not going to lock you down. If I'm not giving you the value, my team's not giving you value. Go find where the pastures are greener. This is an opportunity, and you're going to be able to work this part-time, full-time, or overtime. I'm treating it like a Fortune 500 opportunity. I'm working this double overtime. You can make pro athlete money in this arena if you want to, but there's no requirements to do that. It's really up to you. You put your work ethic, your personality type, and you make your own formula what you want to do. And you could start part-time and go full-time, but really you dictate that. So that's I just kind of paint the picture, give them different options, kind of clear up the things. And by the time I'm done talking, I'm like, do you have any questions or anything you'd like me to illuminate a little more? And a lot of times like, that answers a lot of my questions. So, that's what I try to do is just kind of kick out the questions right away. Like when you're qualifying now, I've been really focused on the recruiting and team building component because to me, that's like the big part of the meat, right? But you cannot do that at all. And you can sell a ton of solar and get rich in this company, right? If you're really good at solar sales. So I've kind of shifted my focus now 50-50. I'm focused on, getting the sales going. My goal is to have like 5 sales this month, quite honestly. So I'll throw that out there. And then basically from there, then I can teach a business in a box to the people that come into my group and to you guys what we're doing, and we can all grow together. So, people that are having success, like don't be secret agents, let's share and grow together. But that being said, the repetition is really important. That's one thing I will say. So if you don't have enough people to talk to, keep reaching out. We all have people to talk to, social media. I recruited all those people through social media, largely spending $0 and 0 cents. And I'm up on the leaderboards of people that I know are spending thousands of dollars. But what's cool is when I get one person, now I'm diving into their network, right? I'm 4 levels deep already in my organization, but I'm diving into that 4th person's group saying, hey, let me see who your top 25 people are. Let's make your hit list. Like, who can you put me on the phone with? You get me. They're like, people say too, like, I can't do what you do. I'm like, you don't have to. We're a team. I will talk to your people and do the heavy lifting for you. If you just set the table, set the appointment, I will be there to help you do the heavy lifting. So that's kind of the mindset.
You're a beast, bro. I'm watching everyone's reaction. Everybody's sitting here just glued. There was no multitasking. There was no nothing else, man. You're badass. I know I say it every time we talk. Well,
I hope somebody gets some value from that. I really do. Thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate you, sir.
100%, man.
Thank you,
One little, obviously, lots of nuggets there, but one thing he did say that I want to make sure people get, because this is important when we share big stories of big winners, is know your audience, right? He said a lot better than I ever will. I'll use me. I'm not sharing the Patrick Adu story, 96,000 your first 30 days with someone that's never made $96,000 in their life. Like it does not make sense. It does not speak to that person, right? So the stories must be relevant. That's why I love people sharing all wins, right? All wins from their first $3,000 a month to $100,000 a month. You got to make sure you can really match that. Super, super important. The other big one, we haven't talked a lot about this, and I'm going to get in trouble with Chris on this one, but I'll take a bullet. One thing I like about this play versus like EXP, right? And what Jim was talking about, if I want to recruit Jim to EXP, he has to leave Keller Williams to come to EXP, right? Solar pros are a little bit different. Many of them have deals they have not been paid for. This is really important. If you're telling a solar pro they must leave $80,000 in escrow, whatever they call it in their world, under contract just to come work with us, you're not going to recruit very, very many people. Like that's very unrealistic. I don't think many on this call would do that if it was them. So with our play, because there typically are not non-competes, and if they are, they're just geographical, like their zip code, their city. You can have a solar pro. I can talk to Joe and say, Joe, dude, give me a crack at this thing on anything outside of Richmond, Virginia. Give me a crack at it. Off script, what I want, right, is once I get them in our ecosystem, they see how fluid this is. They see the team, the calls, the training, how quick you can get paid. They're moving everything over, right? Once they see it, they can't unsee it. So that's another really cool play with solar pros. I just want them into our world so they can experience it. Then it's on us. Then it's on us to get their mind share, to get their time, right? We make a world big enough, they're going to want to play in it. Make sense? Okay, we got time for one more, and then we went a little bit over. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, my question is, when are you going to post this on our team page so we can listen to this several times?
Yeah, I'll share it on our YouTube page, typically within 2 or 3 hours once Zoom sends it to me. But I'll share in the messenger apps. Everyone has it. Everyone should subscribe to that too, so you get updated as well. All right, cool. I appreciate you guys going over, being here on a holiday, first Monday of the year. Thank you to Marissa for stepping up and kicking off the intro. Thank you to Maureen for going through the recognition and crushing everybody's names. That would have been awful if I had to do that. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Happy New Year as well. Get after it. Don't forget our call tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, powerhour.com. I'll see everybody there. Have a great night. We'll talk a great day.